What up, everybody? I'm so friggin' excited to be here. It is Monday, 29th of January, or it's the 30th and friggin' Tuesday for everybody. I'm so stoked. Today, as usual, we're going to do, the dominance, the Bitcoin. Oh, forgot the market cap. And America's here. What up? And we're going to kick into ETH, and then we're going to do like the Casper that we've been talking about. We're going to do Sui, because apparently that's had some stuff going on, which I'm pretty stoked about. Yeah, I mean, let's friggin' get to it. That was a quick intro for Pope, but
Get right into it. I like it. We'll get probably a lot better at that too. Just quick little intro. Hey, how you doing? And roll. Little different tonight. It's just the two of us. Primo's doing some stuff in the Philippines. A little too late for Chris at these hours. So we are looking at what is the best time to be doing this show for the team, for the hourly candles, for viewership around the world. So stay tuned. There will be some updates on that. Some updates coming up that we'll get out of the way. So if you just want to leave after the market cap, the trading series that I've been talking about, quick trading, slow trading, that is going to start next week, the first Monday in February. We will be doing live streaming of quick trading, and then we will have talks about the slow trading, because that trade might not be around when we're at those times. It'll probably be limited entries or just hurry up and wait for them. But it'll absolutely be done. So next week, we'll be doing a couple of 1,000 budget, slow and fast, probably a 2,500 and the same, and then a 5K or something like that. But we'll have it all done. And how long does it take to get to certain milestones and things like that? Happy to hear that a bunch of you in the Discord are already starting to take those small percentages on the regular. Big props. If you've seen the compounding calculator, that adds up huge. You're starting to learn that the small base hits are where you make it. And then we get these big ones, like the ones I posted. Don't know if you saw a couple of the Twitters, or a couple of the tweets, or X's. I don't even know what they're called anymore.
People know what you mean.
Right. Over the weekend, a bunch of my live streaming, when I did that 5-hour show, a bunch of those calls I did on that show hit. And even like what we've been talking about last week, with just a quick review, because I've been a little tied up, we came some pretty accuracy of what we've been talking about. So let's dive into it, and we'll go from there. So as we always do, the total market cap to start. I always do also like to have like a kind of a quick look at all four together. And like once you start to understand the TA, we know these are consolidation zones. We know we broke out of a parallel channel, and we can kind of just get the feel for looking at lots of information at once. Now that lots of information is not only indicators, technical analysis, it's now multiple charts. And the more you get in this practice, the better you do get at it. But don't overwhelm yourself with a ton off the beginning, right? So total market cap, we have seen some nice injections of money right where we thought we would be going, right? Where's our Friday? Was right here. So we can't replay because it's the market cap, but you can see how much our lines have followed. Right where we said we were going to be staying was a support resistance. This weekly is weekly support resistance for the total amount being in, is where we said we wanted to fight our way up to this 1.62 trillion. Oh, we're there. Right now, we want to start to see us take off and start to hit these next levels of support and resistance. Tool not unlocked when you think it is.
While you're clicking that, I just want to do a huge shout out to Ann America because she said she took small profit 8 times since we started. And then said, not playing with much, just trying to get experience. So excited. And fuck yeah, that's the whole bloody point.
And
that's the whole point.
If I can just, like, I'll quickly interject here too. Like, that is the whole point. You know, you're supposed to be taking these little percentages. But one of the things you said, not playing with much. We don't care how much you're playing with. First thing you typed was you're focusing on the money. Mm-hmm. Let's not focus on the money. You focus on those percentages. You talk about, hey, I won 1.3 or 0.8, because it doesn't matter how much. And if you focus on, I wasn't playing with much, 10 months from now, you're going to be focusing on, that's a lot of money. Right? When you put that much money on the line, things change. So if you start fresh and start catching yourself, like there was that dumb little thing you used to do as a kid. If you did something, you had to pull the elastic band, it would slap you, kind of a thing. If you start looking at money as opposed to percentages, let's absolutely celebrate those just like that. Glad to hear it.
Well, because it's the same system. It's the same thing. So your money gets higher, your percentages are the same, but you know, the money freaking changes. It's amazing.
So let's get right back to it so we don't take the whole night away.
Oh, I'm so excited.
All right. So, I mean, this is where we talk about technical analysis, understanding how money flows, understand the markets, really starts to pay off. And sometimes it's not a question of where, it's just a question of when. And that's what we're not really good at, because we don't have the crystal ball in time. But once we start looking up where our supports and resistance are, look where I drew that line to. Look where I stopped this line over. Look where we got to. It wasn't just magic and hocus pocus and a hope and a dream. These are our supports and resistance. We know the gold ones are weekly. This is strong. We want to settle above this. This is exactly what we want to do now. We want to come over here, settle above this, and then either notch at this or go right up to the next one. I would love nothing more to just see a rocket injection straight up versus coming down, but we need to come down. We need to retest. And we need some nice injection of money. You know, Supreme and I are going to be doing some live TA and live trading together. And it's a gas. And I'm so sorry we didn't do that in general last time. So that's the market cap. I mean, it's literally been following what we said it would be doing. I don't think we can. Yeah, didn't think we could. So that's a healthy sign. There's no real big surprise here. Remember, we even said we can get big candles in either direction. And this is the major difference I've been seeing lately, is how fast it's coming in and coming out. So let's look at our dominance. Our dominance is the one thing that it's not doing what we want it to do. And we've talked about this. We want this to curl like we have there. Clearly it didn't, you know, and this is on the 4 hour, right? So if we went to the daily quickly, you know, we were saying, hey, we were marking it up on the 4 hour. But when we go to the daily, I'm going to erase that because our hopes and dreams were shattered. When we go to the daily, we can see what's happening. We can see that we've had the cross, we've come out, and we're going back up. But that's not necessarily a bad thing, because if we're expecting money to flow in, yes. if we're expecting money to flow in, and we are, because we can see same thing. We're ending our micro bear on the market cap, all the money. We can see we're on an uptrend. We can see we're about to have a little pullback because of this channel right here. So it makes sense that this is going to be a tough thing to test. It would make sense that if we don't break that and get that retest, we're coming right back down here. When that money floods in, it's going to flood into Bitcoin at first. And it's going to move our dominance up. When it starts to pull back in the dominance, you can see it does it very, very, very fast. Either over a few days or split up. And that's when we want to get in and out on those alts. Right now, we can see it's going up.
So it's really just about like whether the dominance is good or bad, up or down. It's more about knowing it and adjusting your expectations then.
Yeah, the only time dominance going up is really bad is if total market cap is going down. Because that means money is leaving the market. It's being sucked all out of the altcoins. And then now it's going to also get started to get sucked out of Bitcoin. And that's going to cause a crash into everything. So dominance down, only good when total market cap the same. Dominance up, also only really good when total market cap going up or the same. Anytime decline in this market typically just isn't good. Oops. All right, speaking of Bitcoin, let's go. I mean, this is what I love. This is what I love about what I do. We know the area of purple and the gold line is our consolidation area over time, the majority of it. We needed to get out and retest. That's what this line here was. We got the retest. Then we said we'll probably go up to this level of support, right? Then we're going to go up to these ones. Now this rocketed faster than we thought, but it still stopped at this level and then had that pullback. And what did we say? It's going to get to our top of the resistance. And it's going to be in here, or it needs to break out, retest, and we're off. Now we've broken the downward trend, which we knew we were going to do. We've talked about it all last week. I don't even have to redraw the squiggles. They're still good.
So can I just interrupt for a second? So are you not expecting to see, is there a retest here of that parallel channel that I'm just not seeing then? Or is it just sometimes it doesn't retest?
We have a parallel channel going up. 1, 2, 3 touches.
Right. I was referring to the one going down, but yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, we've broken out. This was our trend here.
Sure.
Right. We've left that trend and we've retested. We've had the pullback and take off again. If this candle here was not outside of this line, we haven't retested. The fact it didn't have much pullback, it doesn't mean a retest doesn't mean it's going to be up here, right here. It just means it's got to be above this blue line.
Oh, okay. That is good to know.
It can rocket, come over, and then have a modest pullback, and then we're off to the races again. That modest pullback is your retest. Now, retests are kind of a pain in the ass because if you wait to play safe for a retest, you can miss these big booms. Unless you're watching, you get in, don't get greedy and take out before they fall again. But the advantage of the retest is if you don't get the big booms, you miss the big booms in the other direction. So it's kind of you didn't get the retest here, but you thought you were going to, right? It was compression. So you bought in here going, oh yeah, it's going to take off. We're in the consolidation zone. It held. Well, we don't know that yet. But if you took that theory and did it, what happened right after? You were so close to the retest, literally right there, but you lost 5% because you didn't wait for the retest. So that's the protection of a retest. This is kind of the miss. But as soon as you get your next pullback, it's a good entry. And when you understand that theory, you got the pullback, you enter, and even at the price right now here today, you're at 4.48%. So we wait for that retest. It happened. Now we wait for what's called a retracement because we know we just took off. People are going to take profits. It's going to pull back. On that pullback, we grab it and we're off to the races because we can even see the curl is this Friday? So there's our Friday, where we were saying the squiggles should go. Right. So does that make sense on the retest?
It does. It does. Appreciate it. Because I wasn't quite getting it as I'm looking at different coins.
And now we can see why it makes sense to have a little bit of a pullback. And that we know we're fighting this consolidation zone of Bitcoin. Bitcoin has to settle over this 43,889 area, this little target here. If it does, we're off to the races. Where are we off to? Most likely right here. And then somewhere in here.
Off to my bank account. That's where we're up to.
Nice. All right. Let's have a look at its counterpart, Ethereum. And damn. I mean, really. What did we talk about? We wanted to see this curl, right? The lines damn near fall over it. Right? We knew if we didn't go up and break this trend. Oh, no, that was on the daily. Sorry. There, that's better. We knew we wanted to see this curl. I mean, our drawing damn well just lays right over, and we started drawing this on back early last week to the point I don't even have to change this. I won't, right? Because what we'll do is we'll just extend them now, right? So what we want to see is we want to get up, and we want to continue to get. Hopefully, we'll get that cross somewhere in here, right? And then we want to see that spread. And it makes sense that these next levels up here are going to be our support and resistance again. So we need the retest to come down and then take off. But we might not come down right here. Our retest might be right here. And we want to see these lines after the cross start to split. Because we know when we get the spread, we get price action. Oops, I'll keep that one. And what did we say? If it did not make this level here, it had a really good chance of falling down to this next level of support. But it didn't. We said our target entry price was somewhere in here. I mean, we hit it. If you put a limit buy in at our target entry price, anywhere in this zone, I mean, how far were we off? What's that say? 0.69%, not even. I can zoom in and get it better if we really want. We were off by 0.54% if we go to where we thought it was going to be. But we know anywhere in this area after a retest is a good buy. So if we were paying attention when this happened, or this happened to be the focus, and you caught this on the pullback, you're already at 3.22%, even with the little bit of pullback. So we now know that we want to break out of this area consolidation with Ethereum. Sorry. Let's get rid of the worst case, because we had our retest. This was if we didn't have our retest. We got our retest. So that's gone. Right? This is what we're looking for in the curve. That curve might come right away. We might get a candle. We might get a liftoff candle right here and go straight to here. That's a possibility because it happened here. And if that happens and I'm in right now, what am I doing? Right, I'm taking the motherfucking profits. Because that's 5.51%. Now, we know the even numbers are a thing, so we know we're probably going to fight somewhere in here. And where are we going to fight in here? We drop down to the 4-hour. And we start looking for our areas of support and resistance. We got one right there. So I use a lime green, which you would know if we do a for the 420, the green, there you are, for the degens in the room. You know, and it looks like we have one there. So on the 4-hour, we can start to see these is definitely going to be a resistance where the candle wick hit, because we know this is a daily resistance. Now we have a 4-hour resistance here, a 4-hour resistance here. These are our next two stop price points. We still have spread on the 4-hour. We're having a healthy retracement. Somebody asked the other day about TA, or sorry, the other day being the weekend. TA only works backwards. And what I mean by that is you can't do something on the 4-hour and then jump to the day. But you can do something on the day and zoom in. Right? So we know we've had our touches here. It makes sense. We've had a pullback. We still have this spread starting. So it makes sense. We'll either get up to here, up here, or up here over the next, 12 to 16 hours. But then again, we know it takes one mass infusion into our total market cap, and we're fucking right off to the races again. But if we've been consolidating in this area for so long, yeah, we're going to fight in this area. And when you have your line set up by colors, you can now start to see, hey, daily support at resistance at this level, 4-hour resistance at this level. And you can start to see, okay, we're on a decline. There's the price, and we have 36 minutes left in this candle. Decline makes sense. Why? People taking profits, like we just said. Our touches on the parallel on the 4, hence why it's green. Might be a good entry now to go up, take that little bit of percent, wait for the next pullback, get entry and go. This is what those fast percentages are. But Ethereum moves slow compared to the alts. So when you're on the alts and you understand the money flow and how these two are moving, we can make our bigger percentages. Actually, how did that far? Oh man, really? Hold on. I'm just really curious now. Okay, I was wrong about how far we were off for a limit entry buy. I'm just going to change this to a different color so I know. Our limit entry buy would have been the center of that circle, and it made it to that. Now, I usually do above and below because I'm usually not that accurate. But if that's the center of our circle, 1.21. Crazy. Cool. Not far off at all. So That's our Ethereum, right on par for where we thought it was going, which is nice to see. It's doing exactly what we want it to do. The market is doing exactly what we want it to do. And then, like I said, we just keep our eye on it. So let's go to Casper. This has been a great short. This is on the daily. And we can see now we may start to be getting that curl. We had that support happen at this support, happen at this support. But there's still room to go down. Lots of room to go down still.
Something to definitely keep watching, but I wouldn't do anything with it yet.
Right. We still have the possibility of a further 18% from this low. And on the daily, we haven't seen that curl. And when we go to the 4 hour, we've had critical fear. We've had it before and it got a nice pump, but it didn't recover to a cross into a micro bull, just started falling again. Now, same thing. Because of this, that we haven't had one and we're making the same patterns, I wouldn't have taken this as a long position. And if I did, I would have been out so fast because you can see it doesn't have long. So if we got in down here, as soon as I'm in profit, like literally right there, I'm out. Did I miss all that? Sure. Did I save the possibility of this? Yes, because we're still in a downwards motion. And if you're buying fear, you're longing.
You grabbed a percentage back there just maybe a minute ago. Did you go from the point of like resistance where you're at right now down to the next point of resistance? Is that where you got your
I need
percentage
to
a little?
know when that. I'm sorry. I need to know when that happens, what token, and when.
Well, it's exactly what you're on right now, but you just scrolled back a little bit through the candles and found a percentage saying that we could still go down. So yeah, you
I'll
were.
go down or go long. Sorry, because I said here.
Yeah, even back further. It's okay. It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
That's all right.
So if we look at what we've been saying with this particular token, which is here, we said to short the fuck out of it, right? And on the daily, we were hoping that these lines would curl, but we also drew them saying the possibility is still going down. Well, we hit the possibility, and that's why we wait, as we talked about before, for these retests. We didn't get anywhere near it. We didn't break out of the channel. So because we didn't break out of that channel, we know that wasn't a retest there. We know this line going up is no longer a possibility. We didn't see the curve. What we're seeing is this other possibility that we said here. Oops. And we have yet to break this channel. And we said, if we don't break this channel, we could get down to here. And right now, ironically, here is happening to be where we're fighting. And on this, on the 4 hour now, because we've broken this trend up, it's still, to me, absolutely is a short. And this is a weekly support. This now has become a weekly resistance. Because it's a gold line. It fell below it and failed to get above it. It is now fighting for its life in these levels right now. So we saw enough pullbacks on the 4 hour where it did look like it might curl, or even on the daily here. So, and it was holding this line at the time. So this was a great take profit zone. Well, now that we know it didn't break this trend where we wanted it to, which was right in here, which means we can now get rid of this one. Oops. And we know this trend is continuing. So we know we need to break out and have that retest above this channel going down. And sadly, it doesn't look good unless we start to see that curl. Now we have had 3 downs and we might see a little bit in here, but this is going to be a hard area this week. Would I be getting a Casper right now? No, I would have taken my profits when I said 2 and it was a healthy 18%. Sui followed exactly what we thought it was going to do for 2 days, broke out. Now this is its retest candle. This is looking extreme.
I'm so sorry. There was no break between the 2 coins, and I just wanted to kick in here. I believe that Eddie is trying to get on the Discord. He's lost, and I lost this earlier today too. The daily fix with the little pill on the side. It looks like Eddie lost that.
What you have to do is on the channel, on the left side of your channel, you need to right click it and show all channels will come up. For whatever reason, it's hidden on your end because you don't have the show all channel selected. As soon as you select that, it'll come right back.
So just right click on the menu over there.
Right click on our actual NFA OFC logo and out of all your channels on Discord.
Okay.
That's where you right click and then you can mute different servers. You can do all sorts of different things when you right click the server icon. And yeah, so you don't miss anything, just show all channels.
Okay. Anna America let him know where he should go and send him a link. So that's awesome. Thank you.
Yay, team.
Thanks, guys.
So, I mean, what strength this is showing right now, I'd be leery to buy in at the moment because right now we know that this thick gray line was our all-time daily high and this gold line was our all-time weekly high. This is showing ridiculous strength. And then now we've also had a channel up. A pullback would make sense. But this is now uncharted territory. Anytime you're above stuff, and, you know, Bob's your uncle. We broke. We're going. We have spread. If we zoom in on the 4-hour, I mean, it's still showing us we have room to run, and it's had pullback. That pullback, if you're ever wondering how much, just measure it. That's a 4 point something or other. I don't have my glasses on. 4.19, 18, 13, somewhere in there.
13 looks like.
Cool, thank you. Pullback. So that is a healthy retracement from going up. That's 5%. And if you're wondering, okay, maybe I want to get in, I can see the line spreading. We have no idea where any support or resistance is because this is uncharted. Right now, our resistance is right here. We haven't made it past it. Right? Our next support is down here. So it could easily go from here all the way back down to here, but it could easily just take off like it did here. Look at prime example on a 4-hour. Look at that beautiful retest. Boom and off. Right. So if you're looking the eye, I want to get in, maybe if it's just for a quick couple percent, zoom in again. We have that. There's our retracement candle. I would be looking for this curve on the lower time frames. Overbought. Oh, right there. There's your critical greed firing. As soon as it fired on the 30-minute, because it'll fire that green dot before it changes. This is real time, this one. If you would have sold right there, you just saved yourself all that pain just by that one indicator. Which is 2.69%, which we know is huge. But now what do we have forming? A parallel channel down. Right? So if we get a retest On the 30, we know we're off to the races again, but we can see we're starting to get a curl. And like I said, it's tough. I mean, you can start going, okay, maybe there'll be some support here and some support here because we've had this area of consolidation. This is on the 30 minutes. And this is, you can get wrecked on the 30, think it's going to follow this. But like I said, we have no history past these times. This is our all-time daily high. This is our all-time weekly high. Or on the 30, this does not count. All-time 30-minute high would be right here. But trying to work on these lower time frames, you can see how fast it can go up and how fast it can come down. And we are getting the crosses on these lower ones. We have not had the cross. If it holds this support and gives us a retest, yeah, now you have my attention. Absolutely. But it needs to do both. And if it does, hell's bells, off to the races again. Crazy. I admit this was Showbiz's pick. I don't know much about it. I want to do more research. I just haven't had the time. And I've also heard this token from quite a few other people, and him and I were talking about that. So it's great to see. Love this kind of stuff. Stacks, the one I've been saying that I love. I mean, it doesn't get much better. I mean, I'm going to extend our consolidation box that we talked about. And we can see that this level in here now, how it was support over here, it broke right down into this other triangle or other rectangle of consolidation from down here, but it held the main one that we were talking about of support and resistance before. It's held that. And then what did it do? It went off to the races. So where was our Friday? We said we needed to hold this. If it didn't, we would see a curl and it would come down to this level. Why would it come down to this level? Support resistance, this right here. Why did I draw that curve to there? We know where, we just don't know when. We said it would go up to here. It would probably stop around here because of support and resistance. Look at all those wicks and those candle bodies where we drew this bat. Same thing, I would be waiting for retracement, but we can see that this is off to the races again on the 4 hour. We have that spread. If I wanted to zoom in for a good entry right now, yeah, look, we're pulling down. I'd wait, probably get back in here.
Would you consider that the beginning of a curl up there?
It could be, but it's a retracement. So I don't actually have the full curl yet.
Mm-hmm.
And we can see here it curled, but we have the consolidation. And we know that consolidation leads to breakouts. And what do we have here? Right? There's one of your bullish pendants. And what
my little pendants I've been waiting to see.
Out. So now it's probably going to do the same thing. And then it's going to break out. This is what we would like to see. Right? These are healthy retracements and back in. That's only one indicator telling us what's going on. We have to use our TA. We have to use our judgment and a little bit of the history and where support and resistance is.
When you say it like that, you make it sound so easy. Just do this, just do this, and this. Right? That was your problem.
That's just experience, right? And that's the patience. Right? We're on a 30-minute time zone. Go right back up to the 4 hour. We're still taking off. Mm-hmm. I'm looking for the best entry, which to me is probably going to be around here or not. We might not fall that far back, which because we know that's a 5% drop. So our next entry might be in this level right here that we don't have marked out, which would make a lot more sense to me. You know, because that's still probably a decent amount of percent pullback. .46%. And we don't know. It may very well pull back to here, you know. But if you're playing on the 4 hour, we're playing for a bunch more candles. We're playing to try to shoot this up here. This is, you know, and if you're not sure, wait. And if you're not sure where it's going to end, take your profits, 1% every single time. You know, so our other one we looked at, which I've been a fan of, has been Phantom. And Phantom is still doing exactly what we want it to do.
Phantom's a pretty consistent coin.
Right. We had our breakout that we were talking about. Right. We got out. There was our retest. We clearly broke this downward trend. Didn't pull back much, stayed right on this line. Right. And if you got in on the retest to now to play safe, I'll just use the ruler. Well, there's your retest, waited for the pullback and got into now. That's 3.37%. It would have took you not very long to make your quick 1%. So that's how we know these channels are very powerful. But we can still see we're in this weekly downward trend. We're trying to we have this curve. Let's get rid of the drawings. We can see, okay, there's our micro bull. Makes sense after all this increase that we've come down. It's a lot of percentages. $87 in 27 days. So this, to me, this area is a healthy entrance. You know, we can see the channel right there. We've had our retest. We should get the micro bull cross soon, and we're off to the races. Where are we going to stop? Let's just take all of this shit away. Start fresh this week with it. Right? So we're on the daily. It's Monday. We've had our retest and breakout here, even though, yes, I know we're using the green. Ooh. We can see the downward path that we started to break this bottom. We're starting to break it right now. This candle is not over. So technically we're on this one right here. 1, 2, 3 touches. Now, if this candle, this daily candle in 20 some odd hours stays outside of this daily parallel channel, we're off to the races. Where are we off to? All of our stops along the way. I'll just pick out, oh man. I'm going to split this difference. Split that difference. And there's our high. So this candle might take off. And then the next day it's up here. That's the risk we're taking, like we just saw. Because if it doesn't take off and it crashes down here, we're still in this micro bear. The micro bear is not technically ended until we see that cross. We're always looking for entries at this. Right? And then what we want to see is eventually that cross and we're off. And then we'll make these little stops along the way. Now that might happen, here faster, might happen over here, but that's what we're playing for. That's what we're hoping for. And if it does hold this line, let's put our target in. It's been fun. Right. Now that we're zoomed in, let's line everything up proper. Our last day, so this is why it has to hold that line there. So the top there, because we use the top of the bodies. So in this area, and it always never lets me get too precise, but in this area, we know we should have our cross and our takeoff. Now, this might happen over here, or a little bit up here, or wherever, but this is where we're looking to break the channel. That's where our focus is. So when I have this set up, and we know worst case scenario, we're going to come down. It's going to be at these levels here, maybe somewhere in here as well. So if we get the cross, we're off and up. If we don't, we're on our way down. The retest is what gives us that security to do it. And if we don't do it, hell of a time to short, because we know when the retests don't happen, it falls fast. But you got to be in, you got to be out. That's the fast trading style.
This is why it's good to go and remember what, timeline you're on, just because that can go so fast.
Yeah, now, if we look at this on the 4 hour, just because you said that, like you can see on this 4 hour, we have been retesting this line. Right? We're so close that you can see the curve. Right? So we need that to be a natural pullback and then take off. But we need that to happen on the daily, because all of this TA is on the daily. So that would be all of my picks for now. I don't want to take a ton of time. That literally takes us to the last 10 minutes. I am stoked for next week to be the trading series starting. I will try to have a tracking spreadsheet put in the Discord as well. I am meeting with John this week to put hopefully these last finishing touches on the Discord for everybody. And that is pretty much everything on my plate, unless there's any questions.
Everyone is just kind of hanging and watching at the moment. But I just wanted to remind people about the watch list, like the coin watch list that you've put on the where all the modules are. At the very bottom, the download printable shit, cool websites and stuff like that. It's the first link on that section. It'll direct you to your trading view, and you can add your watches. It'll say NFA OFC watch list, and it'll kick on there, which is really friggin' helpful. There's a lot of stuff on there I've never even heard of, which is amazing. And then also you are kicking on to, are you doing an ETA tonight?
Yeah, TA is always going to be, when I can get to it. I wanted to do it on the weekend, but I also always preach, touch grass, take some fun. Yeah, so I did. I needed to, and I took the break. I will always announce when I'm going to do it. I haven't done it since the last video, even personally. I am shooting for 10 o'clock PST tonight with the ish factor, but I am doing some tonight. Got a few things after the show I need to get done. What time would the trading be? That question is great. It is going to be done on different time zones. We never force trades. I sometimes watching trading is like watching paint dry, because if you don't have an entry, there's no trade, but we're going to start at different times throughout PST time zone, early in the morning, afternoon, late at night. If I'm looking to be trading, or if I'm looking to do TA, I will be live streaming it, and I will be dropping links to it in our Discord every time. Quick question, like for Phantom on the 4 hour, is it in micro bull? Does it need a micro bear before it rips back up, or latest retest? Let's go right back to Phantom. I'm going to get you to repeat that question for me, and I got to add my screen to the
Sure can, sir.
On the 4 hour, we said?
Phantom on the 4 hour.
Right.
It is a micro bull. Does it need a micro bear before it rips back up? I like her positivity that she just knows it's going to rip back up.
Right. Does it need a micro bear to rip back up? No.
Or just a retest without micro bear?
The retest absolutely is what we want. And if we went on a 4 hour and did the TA on the 4 hour, but this line can just easily do this. Okay. That's what we don't know. We know this is going to be resistance. We've seen it here. We know we have to break out of this downward spiral, but that's why in this area somewhere, if that doesn't happen, we know it's either going to go down fast and hard or up fast and hard. So on the 4 hour, this, and even on any time frame, just because it's currently doesn't mean it can't reverse that trend. And you've heard me say before on certain shows, if you want to play ultra safe, wait for it, because we can see here where we got the curve, and we're all hoping we're going to get that cross. We got this nice entry spot. We didn't get the cross. It just went right back down again. Right. So if you got the belly of the curve and you were smart to get out just taking small percentages, you lost this dip. Or, I mean, you stayed, your capital avoided that dip. And that's why looking at the bigger time frames to see what is the overall direction is so important. And because we're on the 4 hour now, what do we see here? All right. Just hugging that retest, supported that downward trend, and then took off again. Now you can also, because time has moved on, you can adjust your parallel channels. This is a new channel. It's your most localized high over time. Here's your 1 touch. Here's your 2 touch. Here's your 3 touch. Retest and out. So when I say the TA works on every time frame, it does. But I can't do a 4 hour with this chart and go right up to the daily. There's your 4 hour section where it worked. But would I want to take that as my daily retest? No, because we know my daily retest is right here. But if you played the 4 hour, did it work? Absolutely. Right. But that may have only worked for here before it went back down to go to test for the daily. This just happens to line up really nice. But if you did just take it on the 4 hour from technical analysis, and you're seeing that, yeah, fuck, that was a great trade on the 4 hour, right? You got your retest, you got your cross, and you wait till your curve. So you even had a little bit of pullback. 2 days, 11.68%. Nothing wrong with that.
I'm really glad that you mentioned kind of going down the timelines on your TA as opposed to working up, because I think I was bouncing all around. So it makes a lot more sense. People are saying thanks. Thanks to you for doing all that work for us. Really appreciate it.
Love it.
So do you want to try your lasers for like a couple? Do you want to just do it? Just whip it out. Whip it out. Whip it out.
It worked before the show too.
Just before the show.
But that does take us up to pretty much the hour mark. We will let you know if we change the time of the show. Obviously, that'll be some news that we will share with all of you.
And
We are
you'll let
trying.
people know if when you're going to TA, you'll give people a little bit of a this is when it's happening thing.
Yeah, definitely. I try to always give at least a half hour from the daily fix to TA. By then, I kind of know where the schedule's at, but it's looking really good to do a 10 o'clock show or TA tonight, where I just continue down the list alphabetically and just go from there. Might be 2 hours, might be 3 hours, might be another 5. It literally just keeps going as long as I have energy. And again, everybody, thanks for showing up. Thanks for the retweets. Thanks for the questions in the Discord.
Thanks for the consistency of being here and working with us, you guys. Really appreciate it. Later, Pope.
Later.
Okay.